CBS.
Coming up on Mountain News at 6, the murder of a Floyd County woman, Amber Spradlin, has the community worried about the 911 system in the county. And folks throughout the Commonwealth continue to deal with the mess left behind from yesterday's storms.
And we're keeping the storms at bay, but we're keeping it toasty through Independence Day. The breakdown ahead as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
After those storms last night, many folks are seeing the damage left behind, and thousands are still without power. Right now, there are about 23,000 customers without electricity across Kentucky. Now, most of those outages are concentrated in counties in central Kentucky. Kelsey Soto has more on what folks are seeing as they continue to deal with the damage.
There's no electricity running through Rebecca White's house right now after huge trees swung to the ground, snagging power lines down with it. She was heading home Sunday night when wind gusts picked up and lightning crashed around her, making the safe decision to pull over into a parking lot.
It's just instinct, you know. Obviously, if there's danger, you either fight or flight. Me, I'm flight. I'm getting out of there. So I just wanted to get to a safe zone, and usually if there's high waters and floods, you want to go up high. But with the wind being as bad as it was, you want to get down low to try to block some of that from whipping you.
Daryl Euler, who lives across the street, got caught driving in the storm last night. There were terrifying moments he never wants to repeat.
I think I'm going to listen to the news.
Okay, I like that idea.
And when my phone goes beep, 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 I think I'm going to listen to it next time.
Awesome.
But I was never expecting that. But I've lived here all my life, and this is the biggest one I've ever seen.
Over in the Mount Tabor neighborhood, James Cook had just gotten home a little after 5. He was about to enjoy his outback oasis out on the patio when Mother Nature changed his plans. He says he's grateful the good Lord was looking out for him, but he can't help but be depressed by all the damage the storm caused to his home.
One thing after another, but you know, the good Lord tell you, if you follow me, it ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be a bed of roses. But I'm gonna test you to see if you keep your faith.
That was Kelsey Soto reporting from Lexington. KU says the storm knocked down at least 200 power lines and 20 poles. They have about 300 workers trying to restore power. KU says most customers should have power by tomorrow night. Several communities throughout the Bluegrass are dealing with the fallout the storm damage caused yesterday. While some living in Versailles and Woodford County have the lights back on, some are still in the dark. Woodford County Judge Executive James Kay is hopeful people will have power restored by tomorrow. He says the county is out of immediate response mode and it is all hands on deck for the next phase, recovery.
So folks are really they persevere, they have a lot of patience, and we appreciate that. But we've seen a lot of great members of the community helping each other, responding, cutting down trees, doing those sort of things. So this isn't new for Woodford County, and we're getting through it the best we can.
Kay says 4th of July celebrations in Versailles will go on as planned. A tornado wreaked havoc in Casey County yesterday. One family says they took the situation very seriously after a tornado warning was issued for that area. A big part of the roof is gone from Albert Buck's home. It was taken off and blown in several different directions. There's also damage to the siding of his home. It was confirmed as an EF1 tornado with winds of 105 miles per hour. But his neighbors seem to have better luck. One woman says all she lost was a shutter. As for Buck's home, he says it will need a new roof and a lot of remodeling and repairs. A Rockcastle County home has heat damage from an overnight barn fire. Crews say the fire started around 1:30 in the Brindle Ridge area. They managed to stop the fire before it reached a home and a vehicle. Both have heavy heat damage. The barn is destroyed. Crews used about 18,000 gallons of water to put out the fire. There are no reports of injuries.
And we continue to see rather comfortable air out there today. We'll pass on through what appears to be a nighttime shot at Lake Cumberland. Trust me, it's not. Low to mid 80s out there at the moment. We've come down our areas that were at 88, a little cooler now. We'll continue to see, though, heat indices near 90 in some spots, especially Harlan to Jonesville, even Monticello at 91. Pinpoint Doppler, we continue to track just a couple of downpours, even a thunderstorm over Robinette, West Virginia right now. That's pushing out of the area here shortly, but another one will be pushing from Mingo into Logan County over the next little bit. A few more showers down 460 toward Frenchburg and West Liberty. No big deal here as we continue to push it all out of the region finally after a very active last week or so, coming to a head with very stormy weather this weekend. As we head into tonight, we'll continue to stay mostly dry, middle and upper 70s this evening, turning to the low 70s as we head a little bit later on tonight. Steve, I'll have a breakdown of that 4th of July fireworks forecast in just a moment.
Evan, thank you. The murder of Amber Spradlin created a shockwave of concern in Floyd County when her family shared they believe her calls to 911 went unanswered. Her family hosted a news conference late last week sharing their concerns about the city operating the county's 911 services. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has now the city's response.
Imagine being Amber Spradlin in that house that night.
Concerns about a murder.
Unequivocally, I will tell you that Amber Spradlin did not call 911.
Creating a conversation that officials say is dragging dispatchers through the mud.
So our personnel was being attacked, as was the 911 system we have, the training we have.
Prestonsburg Mayor Les Stapleton said the murder of Amber Spradlin was a tragedy. But in the search for justice, he fears the community outcry is creating a narrative about the wrong things.
The dispatch has not been a delay. We get the information that's put out there. There has been a delay in law enforcement because of limited personnel.
Stapleton said every call to 911 is answered at the 911 center. But how it is handled from there by the agencies contacted is the real issue.
It's not just a problem here in Floyd County, it's a nationwide problem.
Saying the local law enforcement agencies are all experiencing the same shortage, but the city police are not the responding agency for the entire county.
I've never said that. There's never been anything in writing that says that. What we said we would do is if we have the resources at that particular time, we will try to help in any way we can.
Asserting the 911 center is doing everything right.
And we're streaming video.
Saying the attorneys for Spradlin's family have spread misinformation about their qualifications and the quality of the center.
So I want people to understand, one, our personnel, I'm backing them 100%, they did nothing wrong. Two is our technology, our expertise, dedication, and professionalism is second to none.
He said the issue of how the streets are being policed comes down to figuring out what to do after the call is answered.
But egos have been put aside. There is stuff in the works to try to increase our personnel and increase the resources.
And the departments are working together to plan what will be best. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Stapleton said the 911 center being moved to the city was the right move and has already improved radio communications between local first responders. He said the space is always open for potential tours for anyone interested if situations allow. Officials from the city of Pikeville are hosting a special meeting tonight to announce the resignation of city manager Philip Ellswick. Ellswick resigned last week after serving since May of 2017. Deputy City Manager Brad Sloan will take the role of interim city manager as the city continues their search to fill the city manager position. Mayor Jimmy Carter says they are confident in Sloan to serve in the interim.
You know, Brad's been with us several years and has been assistant city manager that whole time. And you know, he knows the day-to-day operations and worked hand in hand with the former city manager. So we feel very confident and comfortable with this going forward and as we do our search.
Mayor Carter says he's unsure how long the search for a new city manager will take, but the sooner things get started, the sooner they can find the right candidate. No word on why Ellswick resigned. We'll have more from the special meeting coming up tonight at 11. Kentucky State Police is mourning the loss of one of its own. Sergeant Jared Boggs died this morning at St. Joseph Hospital in Lexington following a brief illness. Boggs graduated from KSP Cadet Class 84 in 2005. He was promoted to sergeant back in 2017 and had spent his entire career with Post 10 in Harlan. Boggs is survived by his wife, Angie, and his son, Zach. Earlier today, a 62-year-old man who was staying in the Little Sandy Correctional Complex in Elliott County escaped, but we understand has since been found. Randall Whitaker had been on the run, but sheriff's deputies confirmed they did find him and take him back into custody. Whitaker was found about half a mile from the correctional complex just off Route 7. Investigators will charge Whitaker with second-degree escape. 2 women have been charged after a car struck Monticello Elementary in Wayne County. First responders responded to a call from a woman who says she lost control of her car at the intersection of North 1st Street and College Street yesterday evening. After getting the woman's initial statements, an officer with the Monticello Police Department requested to see video of the incident. The school's video surveillance system did record the incident, including where both women swapped places in the car. 41-year-old Heather Patton of Lexington and 40-year-old Ashley Barnes of Monticello were both charged. They are to appear in Wayne County District Court on July 10th. Today marks 8 years since Crystal Rogers disappeared from Bardstown, Kentucky. The missing mother was last seen at her boyfriend Brooks Houck's farm in Bardstown. 2 days later, her abandoned car was found with a flat tire on the Bluegrass Parkway. Rogers' father, Tommy Ballard, was killed while hunting on family property in November of 2016. Police named Brooks Houck a suspect in Crystal's disappearance, but he has not been charged. The FBI continues to investigate the case.
And coming up, we continue to keep the storms away for now, but for how long? I'm tracking the latest right after this.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen, customized